Good day and welcome to another installment of Aviate Higher. So the other day we shot the ILS 27 in the Hagerstown on this unit. So I wanted to focus on just the MFD, the multi-function display on this Redbird TD2 here for a few minutes this morning, just so you understand a little bit better, if you don't already know, how to use the different pages here. So in the bottom right hand corner here we have map, WPT, which is waypoint, AUX, which is auxiliary, NRST, which is nearest. And you can see with each of those four, I call them chapters, so chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and chapter 4 each have pages. So the map, you can see on this particular unit, has 3 pages. So let's take the big knob down here and we're going to scroll over one. Now we're on waypoint. So you can see just by moving the big knob I went from map to waypoint by turning it one click. Now waypoint, you can see it has 5 pages. Now I'm going to go from waypoint to auxiliary. Big knob again. Now I have 6 pages in the auxiliary portion. And finally nearest, we're big knob. And you can see, what's that, 7 I think it is? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 7 for this particular unit nearest has there. So let's go back to map and let's look at what each page offers us for here. So this is your primary default map page 1. Now we're going to take the little knob. So we used the big knob to move between chapters. Now we're going to use the little knob down here to move between pages. So you can see currently it's on page 1, but I take the little knob, put it to page 2, and now you can see the different options that we have here. So now I'm going to go to page 3, and there you go, terrain. Alright, let's go back to waypoint. With waypoint, I have Hagerstown tuned in for me, so it's going to give me some information here. It's public, Hagerstown Regional, Henson, Hagerstown, Maryland Regional 703. It's going to give me the Latin Lounge. And then it's going to give me some runways, things like that. And then down here, frequencies that we utilize. Turning over, oops, excuse me, waypoint, page 2. You can see sometimes they're sensitive. Nearest intersections with respect to our waypoint. We'll go to page 3. It's got waypoint NDB information, VOR information for our waypoint, and finally user waypoint data. Let's go to auxiliary, and you can see we have a few different pages here. I don't really have them plugged in. I don't really use the auxiliary too often on the Redbird. But here's some different. We got our satellite information, our rain prediction. Let's keep going. Like I said, a lot of these I don't use when we are shooting the Redbird, or utilizing the Redbird, not shooting the Redbird. But one I use quite often when teaching is the nearest page. Nearest, page 1. Is going to have my airports. So currently it's pointing to Hagerstown, and it's saying from our location, you could see it's showing it's blue, which of course would mean it's towered. It's telling me it's 002.2 miles away. So it means we're almost at the center of the field. There's the field information, runway information, hard surface, tells us what's going on, frequencies. Now let's say I wanted to scroll through the different airports on the field. I should just be able to hit the toggle button. Now you can just see it highlighted. Let me hit that one more time. You can see it unhighlighted it. So I highlighted it. Now I want to go through the different airports and see if I can find. So I'm taking the big knob and just working down through. And these are going nearest. If I'll go back to the top here. And if you look over here, you can see the distances. So 0.2, 5.8, 6.7, 8, and they gradually increase. And it'll give me a wide variation of airports. There's my next hard surface, or towered, is Martinsburg, 21.7 from here. And that's all it's going to give me up to this point. You can see back in the day, even Frederick on this database was still non-towered. So it tells you that this database is dated just a bit. But for purposes of training, it's fantastic. It's a good machine. I like it. So when you pick or select, so we're going to pick Hagerstown. Let's go back to the top. Hagerstown, I'm just going to hit direct. When I hit direct, you can see up here, direct to Hagerstown. It's going to give me some information, and then I'm just going to, if I like it and I confirm that, yes, that is the airport I'm trying to get to, enter. Then it's going to say activate, and I'm going to hit enter again. Boom. So now all of a sudden, all up here on my GPS, it's going to throw all the information. And then on my PFD, my primary function, up here it's going to show Hagerstown, and it's going to give that information. Because we hit all the GPS information. And now also down here it's going to turn this magenta, because now I'm wanting to utilize GPS mode. So I can always go over here and change that back, nav 1, nav 2, or go back to GPS mode. But we're not talking about the PFD right now. We're going to just focus on the MFD. Alright, continuing on. So that's there. If I'm done with the airports, all I got to do is hit the toggle button. It turns it off. And now I can go to the, or let's go down here. Oops, sorry. Now we'll go to nav, or nearest, page 2. Once again, I have my nearest intersection. So instead of going to the nearest airport, let's just pick Nolan, which is the final approach fix on the ILS 27. So I want to go direct. Nolan's coming up. It's telling me it's about 7 miles away. It's giving me my Latin launch. I say, yes, that is the correct one I want. So I'm going to hit enter, activate, yes, enter. And now if I'm shooting approaches with my student or something like that, I can go out and use that as one of my fixes. It's going to give me a reference point, Hagerstown. All right, so I'm done using that. I'm going to hit the toggle button again. We will go nearest page 3. You see NDBs. The nearest NDB based on this one, TZ, and then you got Gaithersburg down there, Cumberland, another one. But you see they're pretty far away because these are less and less every day. The nearest VORs. There's your VORs. When I shoot approaches, when I'm utilizing VORs for whatever reason, I like to have this page up just so I can have a point of reference, situational awareness, and it just lets me know what's going on. So it tells me what heading I need to fly. So for Hagerstown, it's telling me I need to fly heading at 277 to get to that nav aid at 5.9 miles away. And once again, if I want to select it and fly direct to it, just toggle it, highlight it, direct, it's coming up. It's telling me 5 miles away, 277, my Latin launch, and then enter. Now it's saying duplicate waypoints, and activate, and there we go. Alright, so it's going to send me to the nearest one. Alright, next, you can see if I don't hit the toggle, it's just going to scroll through here, and it's like, what's going on? Alright, now we're going to go to the next page. User waypoints, obviously you would define those. Air route traffic control center, and finally alerts. So around here the closest one is going to be P40, which is prohibited. And that's a pretty simple rundown of what you would do. So when you're flying, normally you would keep it on your map page, but if you need to use it, there's your nearest, and it'll give you some great information. If you have any other questions about the MFD, feel free to ask, but I'm going to keep this video short today. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time on Aviate Higher.